All right, I need y'all to introduce yourself, give everybody a little introduction of who you are, what you've accomplished, and we're getting started.
Okay, I'm Rainey Jackson. I'm the president of Headrest Barber Business Academy. We're located in Chicago, and last week I didn't get the address either. So this week I want to give you guys the address: 769 West Jackson Boulevard in Chicago, Illinois. So those who are familiar with Chicago, this is the West Loop. We're in Greektown. So we're right in the heart of Greektown, West Loop. This is my brother Don. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Don Jones. I'm the COO of this business. Rainey and I have known each other for a few decades, to say that. We worked hard on this with Chin. We really appreciate everything Chin has to offer. So hopefully everybody's able to tune in and see us. You're not seeing doubles?
Nope, we see y'all.
And if you have any questions, I mean, we want to answer as many questions as we can. I think last week we kind of ran out of time, but any questions, man, we're available to ask, and we're willing to answer any questions. I think the first thing we want to do is show you guys around the school, which is I gotta see if I can. I'm about to do this. Can I turn the camera around?
I think you're blocking the camera.
Let me take this out of here.
Right now it's pointing towards you.
I'm gonna point it towards the.
There it is. Wait.
Oh, it ain't.
Oh, that's us in the big screen.
Yeah, it's pointing towards y'all.
Thank you.
I'm gonna try to turn it around, or we could go like this. So I'll just. I don't know how to flip the screen, so I guess you guys can kind of see over my shoulder.
Yep.
Here we go. Here we go.
There it is. See, we smart.
Did it switch though?
Uh-oh.
It's a black screen now.
Oh, you got your
My finger over there. Oh, there we go, Jack.
Yeah, see, we need some women. The women, they be
I
knowing.
know. What's the kids? Either what's
Exactly.
the kids? Okay, so this is so we're not completely done with everything. But here's
let's walk down the
entrance. Well, you wanna walk down the stairs?
Yeah. Let's start off at the beginning on the outside.
Okay, we're gonna go upstairs. Cause we're in the lower level, so we're gonna go upstairs.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are. That's downtown right there. We can throw a rock and hit one of those buildings up there. This is our logo.
I think it's a little stuck. The camera is stuck right now.
What's that, Chin?
Okay.
Oh, shit.
We see you. There's the entrance.
Okay. Hey, turn it around. Okay, then we come in. So I don't hit the, so I'll keep, all right. All right, so you just gotta negotiate a set of stairs coming down into the school.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
First things first, get an alarm system.
good alarm system. Boy, I think the,
Reception.
yeah, it's good outside though. We back on?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So then we're walking through the school now. Can you see the entranceway here?
Yes, we see that nice logo TV on the wall.
And so this is what is called a cloak closet. I don't know if they have it in other states, but here in Illinois, we had to have I don't know if you guys remember me talking about it last week. You had to have a cloak closet. And it's not actually a closet. You just need to have a space where the patrons can hang their jackets and their coats. And so this qualifies as a coat closet. And these are the stations here.
Tell us a little bit about the stations.
So I got these cabinets from Husky, and they're really practical for barbers. I think with that wood grain top is really appealing. And then you have the drawers here for your clippers. And then you have a cabinet for any personal items you may have outside of your barber equipment. So I thought these is ideal when I first seen them. And it works really well for a barber station, but not onto itself. So we had to have a mirror, and we got these mirrors from DIR. That's a beauty supply place. I think they're located out of New York. And the ring lights, well, we just got them off Amazon. Okay, so we have 9 stations. Turn the light on over there for that. The 9 stations. So it's 8 chairs here. No, you see, I plug it up. And here's our receptionist area here. We have glass right here, and then on the side, because we want to sell products and want to have our products in the shelf. If you're going to do a school, even if you're going to do a shop, I think you should have products in your school, in your shop. That was one of our goals. We have our own shampoo, our own conditioner, our own beard oil. So we'll be selling that here at our school in our location downtown. All right, and then we have, here is the shampoo area with more of the stations. These are these neck braces that go on the sinks for the necks, on the shampoo sinks like this here. See, it go on here like this. I also got these from DIR. And these chairs, look how nice these chairs are.
Those chairs are very nice.
I've never seen any shampoo chairs like this. I thought this was nice. Here's some of the poster boards that I had made up for some of the haircuts that I've done. All the poster boards have my haircuts. These are all mine.
Oh, that's your work.
Yeah.
Looks
I
good.
just got them, blew up and put them on a poster. And then we got my nephew and my son in the cafeteria. Right. Say hello.
Hello.
Hey,
So we have the cafeteria here, a TV on the wall. We have lockers over, refrigerator lockers over here. Not much to it.
that's nice. What about the floor? That floor is nice. Can you tell us about that?
So yeah, so I tried to pick the color that was closely related to gray of these chairs. I don't think I did that good. It's some gray in it. You can see, if you see some gray in it. But yeah, this floor was from got this floor from Empire. We had Empire come out and put the floor in. And it's our green. I'm kind of proud of our green board. This is grass on the wall, but it's not real grass. But yeah, I got this from Sam's Club.
What about the barber chair?
Also from DIR.
Can we
So
look
everything
at
I
those?
got, yeah, everything came from DIR. That a really good reputable company. I think you would like them and they have really good prices. So if you're looking for some really good barber chairs or salon chairs, I would talk to them. I like these chairs. They're newer. They're sturdy, right? They're metal, so they can fit a big person without too much trouble. What I like mostly about them is they don't have any oil. There's no hydraulic oil in these chairs. So you don't have to worry about busting the seal. Barbers, we know that the hydraulics sometimes get cracked and it bleeds all over the floor. So we don't have that anymore. Not with these. There's no liquid in these chairs, and they work just fine.
Oh, wow.
This is the sign that you must have in the school. All services done by students under supervision of an instructor. You gotta have that in the school. That's part of one of the requirements. Okay, we're going down the hall here. We're going to come into our office, which is not complete. We're still working on the office. This is my brother Don's desk. It's my desk over here. We got some TVs on the wall, storage cabinets. And we also have a window which we can look onto the floor that we had cut into the wall so we can see at all times what's going on the floor when the students are out there. Here's more cuts. It's my son when he was younger. It's a poster I got of him when he was about, I think he was about 3 years old. There's some more posters here. Haircuts what I've done. That's my nephew out there, down here. This is the classroom here. I'm kind of proud of the classroom. The classroom we did ourselves too. So we got another television up here for when we're teaching, we can have the students look on the television instead of just everybody standing at their keyboards all day long. And here we have the classroom. The artwork on the wall. What I like about this, and if you're thinking about doing a school, I think you should do this too. They have, I bought these desks from Menards, but they fold up and they lock in place. So when you're in class and you want to do demo work, you can just lift it up, and then when you're done, you just let it back down. But I also bought these chairs, so when the shelves are done and we're just doing book work, you feel comfortable sitting at your desk, right? And they're not that hard. They let up and down. They're not that hard to maneuver, right? So it's the classroom. And then moving on to the back room area, we have 2 washrooms. I know in the state of Illinois, you gotta have 2 bathrooms, handicap accessible. So there's 1, then there's 2, but we also have a washing machine and dryer for our towels, which is a big investment, but I think it's gonna save you money in the long run, so you don't have to pay someone to wash your towels or inconvenience yourself on the weekends like I had to do for a long time. And got them. But pretty much that's it.
Now, what about that electrical? I see the electrical outlets by the stations. Can you talk about that too? Because we got a lot of women on here, Rainey, and I want you to kind of talk about the electrical, the plumbing, the flooring, all of that type of stuff.
Okay, so you have to pull a certain amount of watts for the electrical, especially when you're a beautician. I'm sure they know a lot about that. When you turn on a blow dryer and the next person turn on a blow dryer, somebody turn on a blow dryer and they blow a fuse. So what we did was plugged up blow dryers to all of the outlets to make sure that we had enough capacity so that we wouldn't blow a fuse. And so you would have to have your electrician check that, but that's a big part because you don't want to be in school and you have students working, and then to me, it's so unprofessional to blow a fuse in the middle of the workday. As far as the plumbing go, okay, so the sinks are pretty standard. They look fancy, but they're pretty standard. But what you need to have, you see that head trap there?
Yep.
So we know that when, beauticians, when they're doing hair, a lot of times the hair goes down the sink, and then that hair get caught in the drain. Well, this prevents that. That's a head trap. You can clean that out often, maybe a week, every 2 weeks. It shouldn't, you know what? It may not even be that soon. Maybe every month you should clean them out, so you can avoid having your sinks back up on you. So this is a pressure vacuum right here. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot operate in Illinois. I don't know about other states, but in Illinois, you can't. If your sink doesn't have this on it, then it's illegal. You can't operate that sink in the state of Illinois. And this is separate. This is separate. And that's important to have too. So it seems on the outside it doesn't seem that complicated, but it's the little things. All the little things count. And then so we got a floor here. We have the floor here. We have the floor in the office. We have the floor in the classroom. Now the reason we have the floor here because it is illegal in Illinois to cut hair on carpet
Mm-hmm.
in the school or in the shop. So we had to have the whole practical area had to be done. I left carpet here in the hallway because when people come in and they come in the front door and their shoes are wet or something like that, when they come in, they wipe their feet down there, but also when they get in this area, they have a place to kind of wipe their feet without tracking into the office or into the classroom. And that's very, I thought that was important too, because we want to try to keep a clean and neat shop. We have a carpet shampoo that we can use every week to clean the carpet. It doesn't take that long. But in a nutshell, yeah, that's it, man. That's pretty much everything.
Very nice.
Oh, and these lights. Okay, so all right, let me show you something. And so this is a trick that Barbers we use. So the lighting is very important, right? So these lights help with the lighting from the shoulders kind of down. But I don't want to put the camera up into the lights, but those lights there, really bright, right? And the reason why we have two is because barbers, we don't like shadows. So when you're cutting hair, I don't know if you can see, it's a very light shadow. That's what you want. You don't want a very dark shadow. See, my hand is waving, you see a little light shadow?
Mm-hmm.
It's even lighter on the floor in this area because of this ring light. It's even lighter.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want very dark lights. And you don't want very dark shadows when you're cutting hair. So those lights are LED lights. I think it's 6 of them in one frame. So it gives off a lot of light. So you do want that when you're working. And in the school, I think you should learn that early. Lighting is everything.
Now, how did you come up with the color scheme, the painting and all of that?
Well, we wanted something that was one, majestic, and then two, I think powerful. And the colors we chose, and the reason why we chose them is because they represent a certain palette in your brain. The room is bright yellow. Our classroom is bright yellow, but that's to help with concentration and keeping people awake. And the teal is like royalty. I think that's one of the most beautiful colors on the palette. You want to say something?
Tiffany blue.
Yeah, Tiffany blue. So what did I say?
You said teal.
I always thought it was teal though.
No, it's Tiffany blue. It's like a luxury.
I don't know. I think I'm right on that, bro.
Go ahead and ask the women. Y'all can comment. Is it Tiffany?
Right. So this Tiffany blue.
Yeah, see?
She said, yeah.
See, look.
Well, the women said it's Tiffany blue. If they said it's Tiffany blue.
Okay. All right. I have to agree with them then.
You can't agree with me. I know.
I agree with them women. I agree with them. They said that I believe them.
See, partnership, bro.
Now, as far as doing the build out, can you and Don elaborate on that so a lot of the women and some of the men will know?
So I really think you need to scope out the place first. You know, we put a lot of work and detail into this.
And we've seen a lot of places too. That's
Chad,
it.
you go?
No, he there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. We saw you look. Okay.
Because the camera, he probably eating. He's probably eating like you was there.
Yeah. That was a quick swallow too, bro. That was professional. But yeah, I mean, I think you should really scope out the place and weigh your options before you sign anything, because we were on the hook for everything. And we probably would have been open sooner if it wasn't for the landlord giving us his demands as far as what we could and couldn't do with the property.
Right. So when you're looking into a place, and I didn't feel like before we started dealing with the landlords here, we didn't really have that feeling. But now since we do, a lot of things we'll do different probably in the next school because, it's a lot of undue stress when you have to deal with things that's not dealing with the school, right? Just getting the school together is a lot, but then you have to deal with certain parameters in which you have to move. So this is a great location. We love it, and that's why we put up with a lot. But our next location we're gonna own, so we don't have to be restricted in what we can do. And yeah, we've seen a lot of places.
Ayana asked us, did we receive any assistance for the build out from the landlords?
No, we didn't receive any assistance from the build up from the landlords. That's another thing. We wanted to negotiate hard with this landlord, but we really liked the place, so we didn't want to put too much into it. We really want to just get the place. But I do suggest that, yeah, you do that with your landlord. I do suggest you talk to your landlord, and if you can, receive some allowances, for lack of a better term.
So when y'all were looking at all these different spaces to lease, what were you looking at?
Location. That's the biggest. That's the biggest thing. We've seen a lot of places that were nice places, but that location wasn't good.
We have the main lines as far as public transportation.
Right.
We're right off the expressway, so many different entrances and exits. Public transportation, the
It's
metro,
huge.
yeah.
So the metro is what, 3 blocks away. So the metro is the suburban train line that comes in from the suburbs, and so we're 3 blocks from Union Station, and then we have a bus stop right in front of our place, and a bus stop right on Halsted, and then there's the CTA train, which is in the city train. It's about 3 blocks away. So I think that's important when you especially coming downtown, because it's not a lot of parking downtown Chicago. It's the craziest. And so a lot of people will be taking public transportation. So we have to keep that in mind too. And so that's why some of the other locations didn't really fit, because some of the other locations had one transportation near it, maybe 2, but this we have like 4. So and so people don't have to drive if they don't want to.
And it's a neutral area too, so we can cater to like all parts of the city, whether it's the south, north, east, west. We're in the middle, smack dab in the middle. So,
and we did that for a reason too, because as a lot of young brothers really don't get out the neighborhood. I grew up in the projects not too far. I can walk to the projects I grew up in, not too far from here. But I know people who grew up in them projects with me, and I can walk. I'm downtown, and I can walk to those projects. Never been downtown. I know people in them projects never been downtown. When I was coming up, I know things has changed now, but when I was coming up, and that for me, I think we need to get out of the hood to change our lane of thought. I think we need to see a different perspective in life. And so putting the barbershop in the hood, I'm not against that. I'm actually for that. But I think we need to have options, and the options shouldn't always have to be in the hood. To get outside the hood is what's going to change your lane of thought. Get outside the hood is what's going to give you perspective on how the world really works and how the world really is. But when you're trapped in the hood, you develop a different mindset, and it's a more dogmatic mindset. But when you're in a setting where you can feel comfortable walking 2 or 3 blocks, picking up groceries and coming back to school, or going across the bridge and having lunch and coming back to school. I want people to feel comfortable being able to do that.
And you get to see people during their work day. Where we're at, it's all it's very diverse economically, culturally. So people need to be able to get out, spread their wings, and realize it's not as intimidating. The world is not as intimidating
right.
as the media, everybody else make it seem. You don't have to be stagnant, sitting in the same place all the time. You can get out, move around. That's what different cultures do. And we want to be able to express that to the students. That you can come downtown and see how people work. I mean, poor, middle class, rich. We all thrive in the same area. It's a big melting pot, Chicago, downtown loop. And they need to be able to realize that.
And then also need to be able to take that experience back to the hood.
The real information back to the hood.
Right. So you can maintain, if you have stores in your neighborhood, if you have commerce in your neighborhood, you can maintain. But to grow your neighborhood, to build out your neighborhood, you need money coming into the hood to help. And so it's not just money, but you need different lanes of thought coming in the neighborhood where people can see something different and come home and teach or talk to their sister, talk to their brother, talk to the neighbor about a different mindset. But you can't do it if you haven't experienced it.
Right. And be motivated to share the wealth. You know, we need to start sharing more. You know, it's so many unknowns. Like, thank goodness that we met Chin, you know, because I mean, we're stagnant. No one helps. We've been doing this on our own, besides the help of Chin, you know, which is a world of knowledge. And we really appreciate you being there.
Right, it really helps.
I can call Chin 9 o'clock and I'm apologizing. And Chin's like, man, come on. You ain't got to keep apologizing. I think
I called Chin. He was on vacation. I heard the kids playing in the background. Like, where you at, man? I think you're on vacation, like, but he still took the phone call.
He still got his vacation tan too, I believe.
Right. Now y'all are partners. It's two of y'all a partnership. Like, so can y'all touch on that? Because a lot of times two people don't work together. So how do y'all work together so well? And how did y'all develop this, you know, this friendship, this business-ship, all of that?
I think we develop a relationship on the basketball court first, because both of us are competitive. And so when we first met each other, it was on the basketball court, and we were going back and forth. Don would tell the story. Just listen. Don would tell the story, and Don would say we battled to a standstill. Nobody won. What I'm saying is I did win. I won 2 games. We probably battled a standstill on the last game, but the 2 games before that, I won. So, but we've always
You see my face, Chin. His face, bro.
That's what happened, bro. I don't know what you want from me. That's what happened.
Hey, but look, we have the utmost respect and love for each other. That's key. That's key. You know, there's nobody bigger than the other. You know, we never brought our egos to the table or anything. But
that's key. That's key when you're doing business with some people. So it's like a marriage. When you're going business with somebody, it's like a marriage. You have to be able to trust that person, and they have to be able to trust you too. And you have to have that level you have to have a certain level of respect for each other. And I know a lot of people get into that situation and then people change. I've known him since I was 17 years old. Has not changed. I was his best man at his wedding. I planned my wedding a week after his. Cause I'm a dummy. I just wasn't thinking he was gonna be on his honeymoon. On his honeymoon, right? He's getting married. I'm getting married. I'm like, oh man. Terrible? So he's supposed to be my best man at my wedding. So I didn't have a best man at my wedding. And then our son's like a year apart, and they're best friends. So it's more than just business with us as family. And we've been moving like that since the beginning. So the partnership is not hard. I'm hard-headed. Like, I don't listen. So a lot of times he gives a message, I don't receive it, or because my wife is also a partner with us, and she gives a message, I don't receive it. And so a lot of people will get ticked off about that, but he knows how to handle it. My wife knows how to handle it, and they point stuff out to me, and so I realize that now. So I try to do better, because I'm not used to working with people. I'm used to just doing my own thing and like running through the brick wall by myself. So it's comfortable to know that I have somebody that I can depend on, that I can call at 11 o'clock at night. Like, oh man, yeah, I just got off the phone with Chin. And he'll answer the phone, or he'll call me and be like, man, what are we gonna do about this? And it's 12 o'clock at night. But those phone calls always get answered because we're really excited about it. We really want to talk about it anyway. Doesn't make a difference what time it is. So I think that's key in our dynamic of our relationship.
You know, Rainey, has a different kind of employment background. He's always been the owner. So that means he hasn't had to answer to no one.
Yeah, but if I had that little job, I got fired from that little job.
And been resentful ever since. So,
I can't work for people.
So it's a learning. It's a learning lesson, but it's all about respect. You know, sometimes you know, we never had to raise each other's our voices or anything. We just have the utmost respect for each other. We know that this is bigger than our ego. You know, it's weird because Chin, we never really talked about success. I think our main goal is to help the communities, man. Really help the communities. Because I don't know if you all follow the news. The news ain't lying. Chicago is terrible right now.
Yeah, it's getting worse.
And it's like genocide, and we really want to kind of change that. And if we can grab a few off the street, save a couple of lives, man, and bring back the trades, that's what's missing in our communities. You know, this one size fit all education system that they have, it needs to be kicked out the door. You know, these trades need to come back.
Right. Well, these young kids, I think, are different minded than we were. You can't teach these kids like you try to teach us. I think they're more innovative. I think they're smarter. And I think that they need to be expressive. It's different with us. We could express ourselves every day, all day. We could express ourselves. We go outside and express yourself on the basketball court. I could go different neighborhoods in Chicago all the time and was never felt threatened, but could play basketball everywhere I went. It's not like that anymore. So kids are kind of closed in. It's different. Their minds work different because I think, this is my opinion, I'm not a scientist anymore. I am a doctor, however, but to have the room to express themselves, I think that has gotten smaller. So having a trade, being able to cut hair, to express yourself artistically, I think is a big component for success for these young kids. I don't think they get that. I don't think a lot of them get it in public school or in the school setting. It has to be different. The way we teach here is going to be completely different. It's not going to be the same. You're not going to come here and just sit at those desks and be lectured to. I don't think that's a productive way
engagement
of teaching. So we have a different teaching philosophy also that we're going to implement here. Now, I think it's going to work. I think you need to have fun while you learn. It shouldn't just be you sitting in the classroom taking notes. You sitting still like a robot and taking notes. I don't think that's productive. I mean, for some people it is. I think some people it is. But my belief is the great majority. That's not a good system for learning. I think it's an old system, an old way of learning.
Are both of y'all barbers? I'm just throwing questions out there to the audience who wants to know.
No, I'm a barber. I'm the only barber. I've been, like I said last week, I've been cutting hair since I was 19, 18 years old. So I'm a barber, but Don has always been an administrator. He's always been in the on that side in management. So I think it's a perfect marriage. So I don't have to worry about doing that. I'm not, because I wouldn't be good at that. I am good at teaching. I am good at talking. So I can do that. So it's like a yin and a yang there also.
Bad cop, good cop. You know, Rainey has a lot more patience.
He's a bad cop.
Yeah, he has a lot more patience for foolishness.
I love it.
Especially, I have none. No tolerance for foolishness
at all.
So sometimes he has to humble me. He has to say, "Hey man, listen, man, they only kids, man. You gotta take it easy, bro." And then sometimes I'm like, "Hey man, you gotta stop clowning with these dudes, man. They're gonna run all over us." So we know that we know when to be serious and we know when to be laid back. Etiquette is gonna be a big priority. You know, get them pants off up on those hips now. Get that coming in smelling like smoke and all that stuff. We're gonna teach all that. So when they go back, because barbershops are pillars, man. And a lot of people learn and grow up in these barbershops. You know, so when they go back, they can take more stuff back to the barbershops versus, you know, what's on TV all the time and everything. So we have an excellent curriculum. I think, Chen, you've seen our curriculum, right?
Yeah, and Randy talked a little bit about that, I think last week.
Yeah, that's the pivot point curriculum.
Yeah, he talked about it. Mhm.
I really like that curriculum.
And we adding financial literacy. We adding a few components to the curriculum. So they're gonna listen, Chan. They may not even at the end of this may say, "Hey, you know what? I got my certificate. You know, I got my license, stay licensed. But man, I know that I can actually bunker down, study, take something serious." They may say take on another trade. We got a person that wants to put more Black people in coach, pharmaceutical coach. So he's working on something. So for us. So we just want to make sure that we give them all kind of positive options.
Variety.
Yeah, variety.
That's the spice of life, is variety.
Ooh, I like that.
You like that?
You put that on the window.
I made that up, bro.
A t-shirt.
Yeah,
Please put it on a t-shirt. You just did that now too, right?
Yeah, just
It sounded a little janky, but I was like, you know what?
There's some more questions over here, Don and Randy. How many square feet is your school?
It's 2,677 square feet.
What would you say would be one of the most challenging things if somebody walks in the building and it's just empty? What should they be looking at inside that building? Some of the positives and some negatives. Like if a woman walked in and don't know anything really about, what we men know.
Well, I think functionality is if you can kind of visualize the function of a space. I didn't like this space when we first seen this space. Don loved the space. My wife loved the space. I didn't like the space. I thought it was cut up all wrong. I was like, it's enough room, but it's just cut up all wrong. I didn't. So my vision wasn't what you see now because I couldn't see that. But I think Don saw the potential. My wife saw the potential. So I gave it a little bit more thought, and then just understanding the barber side. We know we need to have a practical floor. We know there need to be space in between the chairs. Can that work? So I started measuring the place, and I said, that could work. If we had line of barber chairs, because I'm always wanted to put. I don't like barber chairs against the wall. I like stations to be out on the floor. But this place it wasn't big enough for that. But that was my vision for the school. I didn't want to have the same all up against the wall setup. But when you see it in the way it functioned, is perfect in this functionality. And so I got over my stigma of what I wanted and just went with how the flow of the space is and was. So my wife wanted to move this wall back maybe a foot or so because she didn't think it was enough room on the practical floor for people to walk and have enough space to be comfortable. And so we had to we came in here one day and we had a bunch of, and you might want to do this too. I thought this is Don's idea. I thought it was a great idea. We came in and we had tape and we just started taping where you want the stations, taping off where the chairs would be, taping off where this waiting area would be, taping off where the receptionist desk would be. So we started taping off sections just to see, how it would work. It worked perfectly. The classroom too, I thought the classroom was too small. And then I went and measured it and kind of sectioned it out. And so it works. So it's if you're a lady or if you're a man, because it doesn't mean just because you're a lady, you can't fill the room out. Or if you're a man, you can fill the room out. It doesn't mean that. It just means that in your search for a space, you'll come across a lot of places that you do like. And you'll come across a lot of places that you like for different reasons. And so I think the permanent reason or the permanent thing that you have to hang your hat on is how functional can it be, right?
I think one of the biggest things is the plumbing. I'm not gonna lie to you. We had to do a lot of redirecting and everything with the plumbing.
Right.
I think that was like a big part of our budget.
Yeah,
we
but
found
it was
somebody reasonable.
Right, but it was, but we knew we could do that. Right. After you get the vision, I mean, that's the easy math, but I think the vision part is the hardest because we had to figure out, because the sink was going to be in here, remember?
Right.
The sink's going to be in there. So you have to, I think it's just figuring out the sway of the place or the movement.
I would suggest that you draw out your plan, whether you're a great artist or not. You draw it out so you have a mindset of what you want to for your place to look like, because then you won't settle as much. It's hard and it's scary, and you settle quick because you think that I mean, there's ton of spaces. There's ton of spaces. You know, we actually found this on our own, right?
Yeah.
And we had a realtor, and he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything, and wanted what? What do you want, like 75,000 or something?
No, he wanted a huge percentage.
So we were
What's
getting
75?
cut out.
No, it was 25.
So we were falling in love with spaces and
Not getting the spaces.
not getting the spaces.
Because this dude was tacking on to what
His
it
fee.
cost. So when you use a realtor, they're not supposed to receive a kickback from the lease, or with the leasees. You're not supposed to receive a kickback from us too. But this guy he was tacking on prices. And so the place that we could afford.
Yeah, he was
We
driving
thought we
up the
couldn't
coast.
afford. We was like, we can't afford that. That's too much. He said, that's what it's going to be, because he had already factors in like $25,000 for himself. So yeah, if you're looking for a place, do find a realtor, but find someone you can trust and that's reputable. Because this guy was, in nature, he came to us humble, but really he was a snake.
And we would never see him. He would be like, "I'm getting on the plane, but I told them that you're going to be coming." So
right.
We know it. So those are the things that you're not prepared for, because you think that everybody's on their square and they're just going to take care of what they're supposed to do. They're going to have the integrity to do business. And there's a lot of snakes out there, especially when you talk about you open up your own business. I don't know where that equates to you already having a lot of money.
Right.
Because that was total opposite.
Right. Cause we robbed Peter, and then robbed Paul, and then robbed John. We robbed all them just to get this space. So we don't. Now I had to tell people, listen, I want you to come do some work, but don't look at it like we don't have a lot of money. So don't come. Oh, you downtown. Oh, y'all got a beautiful space. Oh, and then you want to go ahead and start pushing up the price, but that's not what this is.
Let us get home first. And
the
then
truth is, we went into a lot of debt to get this place. That's the truth. And I'm not ashamed to say it, but I'm glad we did it the way we did it. So now, when we start making money, because we're not making money yet. Once we start making money, I think we'll move a lot faster than we would have. So I think that's an important key.
I might ask, what was the stated rules and regulations for the trap thing on the sink?
That's not stated in the rules and regulations. I don't think it's mandatory. It might be, so don't quote me on that 1,000%. But I do know for yourself and for your business, you really want to have a trap on your sink, because I don't know if you've been in the shop, or you may not, maybe you don't work in this field, but people who do work in this field, I'm sure we've been in the shop where sinks were stocked up. And a system like this, if one sink is stocked up, all the sinks are stocked up. So, let me see. If one sink is stocked up, all the sinks are stocked up. So you don't want that. So to have the traps it's an extra fee. It's not free. It's an extra fee, but it's going to save you thousands in plumbing. And so you want to head things off before it happens. And that's one of the things that it could really set you back as far as your work day go. Now, and I've only experienced it at work, and I know how challenging it could be at work and how unprofessional it looks at work. So yeah, definitely, even though it's an extra price, it ain't that much. I don't think they cost that much. I think they cost $30.
So if you were a beauty professional, entrepreneur, and you were getting ready to open a school right now, knowing everything that you know, because you've been through the whole process, and you're out driving around looking for buildings, can you take them through that?
Well, the first thing you do is identify an area that you want to be in. We identified the downtown area, even though we didn't think we could do it, we still just went out on faith to look at places. And so that's where you should start. Identify where you want to be first. Also, look into pricings in that area, because a lot of pricings you may not be able to afford, or you think you may not be able to afford. But a lot of it has a lot to do with the space and the amenities. We have 2 restaurants upstairs. Now that doesn't have anything to do with the school, but that's for us, that was a great amenity to have, because our students can come right out of class, go right upstairs and get something to eat instead of having to walk 2 or 3 blocks to get something. We have really nice restaurants upstairs too. So I wasn't looking for a place like that, but because I was I wanted this area, and I was kind of stuck on that. It made me open my eyes up to different area, different kind of space. Like I said, I didn't like this space at first when I seen it, but it was in the area that we identified, and it was also, we got 4 main veins of transportation. So so for me, this wasn't the ideal space, but it hit some of the bullet points, and then we made it work. So yeah, definitely identify a place that you like. I mean, an area that you like. See as many places as you can. Don't see 1 or 2, 3 or 4 places, because you will see a variety of places, and then the realtor or the person that's working for the realtor will push you, saying, well, we got 4 more people coming to see this place. Kind of like when you saw in the car or you saw on the bike. Well, you can buy this bike right now, but you don't have to, because I got somebody coming to get it. They probably come get it later on today. So if you want, you might want to grab it now, because it's gonna be gone to come back tomorrow. There's gonna be a lot of that. So you don't want to have to deal with that. Be prepared to say no. That's a huge thing too. Be prepared to say no. Be prepared to say, that's okay, I have to walk away from that. Because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you, what's the old saying, you throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You don't put yourself in that situation. You want to have options. So see as many places as you can, and get as many eyes on a place as you can. My wife will come down, Don will come down, and we would look at it, and I would get different perspectives. And so now you can say, that's not what I really like. But y'all really like it like that? And y'all think it's like that? You see the vision? And so that helped also. So get as many eyes on it, identify a space in the area, get a lot of different eyes on it, and then run the numbers. Because you don't want to be in a beautiful place and you really can't afford it. Run those numbers. See what it's going to be like for the next 5 years. Downtown, I think it's standard practice to have a 3% increase, a 5% increase on rent every year.
You don't want to be house broke.
Right. You don't want to be house broke. So that's important to do your numbers, identify, because the most important part of real estate is location.
And there's plenty of places out here. Like, we fell in love with them. Don't let us mislead you. We fell in love with a lot of places, and we had our heart broke.
A couple of times.
Yeah. So,
and the biggest thing when you show up, and you get this paying job, but people when you talk to you on the phone, they don't know that. So when you show up, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Oh well, no, this it's gonna be this price, but that's not what we said on the phone. We talked. That's not what we said on the phone. We talked. We said it's gonna be this. I know, but we didn't take into account we got this and that going on. It's not that.
Man, that happens so many times, Chin.
Right. It's just they don't want you to be there.
Or to find out what we were doing, bringing the youth, at risk.
Right.
They don't want that around the property.
So that's a good point. So when you get into school, when you're really looking for a place, they say you get into school. Don't tell them what kind of school. Don't tell them who's gonna be coming to the school, because they'll be asking all kind of questions. We haven't decided that yet, but we're gonna open up a school. What kind of school?
Into education.
Well, we haven't decided. There's a lot of avenues we're gonna go down, but this is gonna be a school, because we were treated differently.
Man.
Just because of that.
We had a corporate building, so beautiful, man. It had I would have had my own office. I could have been as bougie as I wanted to in my own space. And they found out what we were doing, and they took the square footage and doubled it, right? Right then. They didn't wait till we left the meeting and then called us back. Right then, when we were seeing the space, it was like, so it's gonna be this is gonna be $5,000. It was like, what are we talking about?
Hey, you didn't say that. Well, you must have heard. Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the number. This is gonna be
And then
5,000.
they remeasured.
Right.
They remeasured. We did say it was 3,000, but we found an extra 1,500 square foot.
Right. So when you talking to me on the phone, you know, you're talking to a nice guy, and then I show up with these damn beads on, with your Malcolm X t-shirt on, and my hair. They're like, yeah. So we got to renegotiate these numbers. This is what it really is.
Oh hell no.
But that's my plight. That's our plight. It's gonna be something totally different with you when you're looking for your place. So just be prepared that you'll be in situations like that, not for the same reasons, but for similar reasons, especially if you got this paying job.
Somebody asked, when are you starting your first class?
We were opening up next month on my birthday, May 8th. We haven't had any. We don't have any students now. We just have leads, so we're chasing down those leads. But either way, next month we're opening.
Okay. Let me see. I was looking at more questions because y'all been really big help. What about as far as hiring contractors and people to come in to do work? Because I hear a lot of horror stories on things like that. Can you give them any pointers on that? Because you got to do the plumbing, electrical, paint, all that type of stuff.
I think you just got to lay the law down at the beginning. You know, it used to be where men would tell the truth with other men, but the men would take advantage of the women. These guys now will take advantage of you if they feel like you're a sheep. And this one thing, this dude mouth is no joke. So he'll tell it like it is from the very beginning. I hear him sometimes on the alarm system. I hear him cursing somebody out, but it's a mutual respect.
That's gonna curse a lot. I don't mean to curse people out. I just curse a lot.
Yeah.
But what I did, talking to different people, you just have to, you really have to vet people. And my wife taught me, because I didn't always do it, to whatever you do, whatever you're gonna get done, get 3 different quotes of prices.
Yep. She was hardcore on that.
3 different people, regardless how much you like the first person, always get 3 quotes. And from those 3 quotes, decide which one, whoever's giving you the best offer, you go with them. But you do not pay them until they finish the job.
Right. Do
not pay them, because a contractor don't give a damn doing a half-ass job. I'm sorry, I don't want to cuss. My mother-in-law told me quit cussing. So a contractor don't care about doing a half job and getting paid, then leaving. You'll never see them again. You'll never see them again. So just try to vet people, have a contract wrote up with, see, you think people have common sense, but they don't. So your contract has to state plainly everything that's gonna get done, from removing this, 1, and after you remove that, you're gonna put this in, 2, and after you do that, you're gonna do this. It should be broke down. Every bit of what you want done should be in the contract. And don't be ashamed. And some people try to shame you about contracts, but don't be shamed into not doing a contract, because that's how they get you.
I'm gonna tell you what helps as well. The alarm system. You can zoom in, you can watch people do their work.
Right.
And now you know how to talk to them. Like, listen, we need this done. I know you've been doing, half job or whatever the situation is, but they know that you're on it. Also, we have 3 different personalities, Rainey and I, sometimes I know how to talk to people in a certain way. Rainey knows how to be straight to the point. And his wife is like both of us. She can turn on that switch and be like him, or she can kind of calm down and be like me. So I think with that glue is what help us kind of get rid of those shenanigans right away.
Yeah, my wife was like the liquid Terminator. Remember that liquid Terminator? That's how she is.
Yeah. And she'll pop up right now. I believe I'm talking highly
right now.
I'm talking highly of her in case she's listening.
So what's the last thing I was gonna say about? So what I did for the you got to put the lights up and build these sit in the area in the receptionist desk. I just went to Home Depot, and I walked around Home Depot and saw who had stuff in their car. Just asked them. I said, "Hey man, are you a contractor?" I said, "Yeah." "What kind of work do you do? Can you put lights? Can you install lights?" "Yeah, I can install lights." "Hey, listen, I'm not too far from here, man. I got a school I'm trying to put together. You can put up some lights." Well, yeah, let me see. "Well, how much you gonna charge?" "Well, I see the place first." And so I would bring people down here. I won't suggest that if you're a lady to come in this, a basement area with a man you don't know. So if you are a lady, man, you can have someone with you, someone of course that you trust, to come with you and pick out you a contractor or electrician or plumber, someone like that, and to bring with them to the space when you come get the space. Says, listen, I always tell people it's not hard getting it. It's hard keeping it, right? So you want to plan out everything you do from the beginning, and that includes the contractors. So plan to sit down with them, plan to talk to them about what you want to do, plan to bring them to the space, get a good pricing for it, and then watch out for somebody that's too low, right? If you get in the job, everybody quoting you 25,000, and then some guy come in and say, "I'll do it for 11." You have to watch out for that. Not saying he can't do it, not saying that ain't real, but that's a red flag to me, because everybody Christ, this is being 25,000, and you coming in and talking about doing it for 11, or something to that effect. So that's, to me, it's not a fail-proof plan of picking a contract, but I think it's a good plan.
Did any of the contractors ask you, did you get a quote from somebody else? From another contractor?
No, the closest thing I came to that is I had a guy to say, "Let me know," because I told him, I'm upfront and honest. I said, "Man, listen, I'm gonna get 3 more quotes. Give me your best quote, because I'm getting 2 more quotes, and whoever give me the best quote, that's what I'm going with. So give me your best quote." And I had a guy tell me, "Well, just come back and tell me what's the best quote that you got. I'll beat it." Right. So that's how that went.
And you got a lot of intelligent people, especially what you call it, the paint job.
Mm-hmm.
That you can't really trust. I know my mom does that same hustle. She'll go to Home Depot and she'll see somebody in a plumbing area. Yeah, this is thing right here. And so, like Rainey said, just be smart about it. But you can really find people on your own without going even on YouTube. Oh, that was smart, bro. That's smart, bro. Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah.
What
All
would
right,
you
sorry.
say is the most expensive? What are some of the most expensive things in getting the school prepared to get open? Is it plumbing, electrical, flooring, painting? What would you share with them?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: if you don't plan it, it's all of that. So we fell in love with this place. Place needed a lot of work. Looking back on it, maybe we should look at another place because it's so expensive. But plumbing is expensive. Electricity is expensive. Those are contracted workers, but they're unionized, and so and a lot of them, because I went where I went, they're used to working in this area, so they're used to charging a certain price. I could have went to the south side and found some contractors that would come down here, could have did it for a lot cheaper than I used to working down here. And so, and with our owners, it was just a different animal we had to deal with. So I would say all of those are equally expensive. Putting plumbing in is expensive. Putting electricity in, that's expensive. There's no way around it. So if you can find a place that has those things already,
Yep.
You're winning. You're coming out on top, because you don't want to spend money. We don't own this place. So I hate we put as much money as we put into this space, but we don't own this space.
We got a good deal as far as rent is concerned, but I think the scariest thing this time last year, the landlord is our acting engineer, GC, our general contractor. That's who you need if you're gonna do anything with the blueprints, change like the electrical, like specs or plumbing, whatever. So
Well, so
you
you
gotta
can
have
get
a
away with
gym.
not doing some of that stuff in our neighborhoods. But in this area, you can't. You had to have electrical drawings. You have to have mechanical drawings.
Yeah,
It's called
mechanical, yeah.
drawings.
Blueprints
And
and so forth.
These guys quoted us. They was quoting us outrageous.
Shit, they wanted us to spend $75,000 on an HVAC system. They was talking
That
about
we didn't
putting it on
need.
the
That we
roof and
didn't need.
everything. That's one of the reasons why it took a year.
Because people will do that. They will do that. They'll tell you, because I believe they wanted us to put it in here so they can have it when we leave. Right? But
So
it's people will do that to you. They'll push the price up. They'll do things like that on you because they feel you're naive and you're green. They didn't know our background. They don't know how long we've been in this business, so they tried it. And so people are going to try with you too. And because they can't look at you and tell your background. You show up these dreads, they think they got one. And I don't care how you look. They still may try. You know what I mean? It ain't based on how you look. It's just based on how, if they feel they can get over on you.
they feel like they can get over on you. He tried. We told him, listen, man, what you gonna do? You gonna sue us? We out of here. And he was like, well, you know what? And he changed his tune. And that happened in December. And up until December, man, we waited on our license. That's another thing. If you don't have your license yet, man, get on that. Rainey had to. We live how many hours away from Springfield?
3
hours away from Springfield. That's our capital.
4? I think it's 4 hours. We're 4 hours from Springfield.
Okay. So that's 8 hours a day he was traveling just to go and make sure they was on top of our application.
Don would call me, be like, hey man, I'm finna go to the gym. What you doing? Man, I'm halfway down to Springfield, Jack. I'm halfway down to Springfield. So that happened a lot with us. But I thought that would help push the process along. And in maybe some regards it did, but not that much.
Sometimes you got to butt in line, Chin. You got to get it out there and just say, hey, listen, I drove too far, or I did too long. This is my only day off. Because I work a full-time job besides this. Rainey is constantly at the barbershop, so he's maintaining his own shop and doing this. So our time is limited. And when we take time off to do this, we need something productive happen. Since you guys spent so much money. Oh, I ain't catch you catching those questions, Chin?
Yeah. Can y'all see them too?
They're popping up, but then they
just
disappear.
a split moment. Not we really
Okay.
can't see.
So Zandra said, what about your exhaust system? Was that expensive?
We didn't have to do the exhaust system. Our exhaust system was up to par. But
Okay.
that's a good question though. So whenever you go in looking at that first, because you may fall in love with a place and they try to get us to put an exhaust system in here that would have cost almost $50,000.
Yeah.
And so that's a very good question. And please be mindful of that.
Yeah, because of COVID especially,
especially.
You make sure you ask that question. Don't try to get around it because, that can be a reason that you fail an inspection.
Trying to ask, since you guys spent so much on the build out, did the landlord give you any free rent?
We got a couple of months of free rent, and that's the part of something we didn't want to negotiate. Could have negotiated harder on it, but I didn't want to go through a strenuous, because what we had been through with different realtors and different landlords, what we had been through, I didn't feel like going through all of that anymore. And maybe I could have done a better job. That's the one thing I think we should have did more of. But we had no idea we weren't going to be open for a year. We had no idea. I'm thinking,
a few months. Time.
Yeah, you would give us a few months because, we're going to be up in a few months. And that was the wrong lane of thought because the state of Illinois is so bagged up. It took them 8 months to get it. It took them 8 months to get back with us. So
we've been paying rent without a license. And I believe most states want you to have a location before you even apply. Which is crazy.
Location. You have and I know in Illinois you do. You got to have a secure location and you got to have a lease locked in. And
that's why a lot of people fail their first year because, you're waiting on the state to do their job and you're paying all the rent. You got to pay the lights. I highly suggest you get an alarm system. That's the first thing we did.
Yeah, that's the first thing we did. We got to, and man, don't get any alarm system. Get a great alarm system. So if you approach that door, let us know on our phones that you're approaching that door.
All three of us see it. All
Once you
three of
come
us.
in, it's a camera at every angle in the school. So once you come in, you videotape. But we got signs outside saying that. That's important. I don't think anybody would try to come in here, but it's important for you to have, because you never know. You just never know. So it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Somebody said, what alarm system do you have? Do you recommend?
This is
Vivid.
This is Vivid. And I don't know if they're everywhere in the country, but it's a great alarm system in Illinois.
It's app friendly. We're gonna have it on the TV, so we'll be able to monitor. Folks that's pacing back and forth. We're in a high traffic area, which is beautiful. But you still, everybody can be a victim nowadays.
Right. You just got to be careful.
So we just being extra precaution.
Okay. Let's see. I don't see any other questions. What else do you all think is important for people that's going to transition to what you all are doing? Because a lot of people are afraid. It's only 1,100 right now, 1,141 NACA's accredited schools in the whole United States, and it's over 1.4 million shops, and it's 3 to 4 million beauty professionals. So what would you tell them? Because a lot of them are afraid or thinking certain things. What advice would you all give them?
Well, the number one advice I would say is don't be afraid to fail. You can overcome failure, but you can't overcome dealing with yourself about not taking that shot, right? So you have to be able to mentally process failing. I've always expected the best, but prepared for the worst. So if you have a dream and you want to do it, man, stick to that. It's going to be obstacles anyway, and it's going to be obstacles that you won't even see coming. Just understand that it's coming, and understand that you're going to have plights from step 1 to 1,000. There's always going to be something that come up. You have to have the stick-to-itness to move through that. And I don't care what it is. You have to have the stick-to-itness to move through. We were derailed 1,000 times. We've been trying to do this for what?
Years,
like 8 years.
Yep, 6, 7 years.
We've been trying to do this for a long time. So imagine how many roadblocks we came across financially, dealing with the racism, and dealing with people telling you that you can't do it, or people acting as if they're behind you, but they're not. They don't want to see you do good. They want to act like it, but they don't want to see you do good. So, man, be okay with failure in every step of the way. Be okay with it, but be okay, not accept it and then be okay with it. No, be okay with it and then also move past it. Whatever you got to do to move past it. Don't let anything stop you, because there will be times where, man, this don't work out. There will be times where that don't work. It's been many nights I went to sleep and said, damn, I lost today. I lost big today.
Let me piggyback off that. Passion. You got to have a passion. Like, if you know this is something you want, even when they hear Rainey and I talk about this, they a lot of people buy into it because they see how passionate we are about this. And you have to have the stamina too, because like Rainey said, man, it's gonna be so many times you hit that ground, man. You just got to bounce back up.
You scared the hell out of me.
So,
it was loud as hell.
right. So you got to have the stamina, the passion, and I really think you just got to keep your support group small, because sometimes people can pretend like they supporting you, but they really don't want to see. And it's so instead of overthinking who's that support, just keep that support group small. I haven't told a lot of people. People in my family really don't even know what's going on unless they see me on YouTube. I'm not even on social media like that. So I didn't have a lot of distractions when people, if I hit the ground, Rainey was there, be like, come on, man, I'm still running, bro, catch up. Rainey hit the ground, I'll be like, come on, catch up, bro. I'm passing you. I got this. You got to catch up in case I hit the ground again. So we have each other's back. I don't depend on a lot of people to have my back because some people let you fall. Some people let you fall and then pretend like they trying to pick you up. Be like, hold on, my hands are full. I'm gonna come back and get you. And then they go on about their business. So the only people I depend on is the ones, my small circle. So passion, stamina, and be as discreet, be as discreet as possible, and at least until you succeed. Then share all you want to.
Right. Because everybody smiling in your face ain't your friend. Everybody ain't happy for you.
Oh,
You're muted. I can't hear you.
What made it different this time? Because you all been thinking about this and working on this for some years. So what was the defining moment this time?
Well, I think all the stars were aligned. I had more time on my hands because I had stopped working to go to school. So I was only working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday, which gave me Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to kind of build a playbook and then to execute. So that's another thing. It's gonna take a lot of time. So carve you out some time in your schedule. Finding this place was also key because we were prepared to keep looking. We didn't. I mean, we wanted a school. We know we really were working on it for a while. We really wanted a school, but we were prepared to move on. So that's why I think all the stars was in line. Like I said, this is West Loop. This area is not cheap. The rent here is not cheap, and it's a different culture. This is a Greek town, so a large majority of the population here is Greek, and so we're not the dominant population here, which is what we wanted also, because we want the brothers to be exposed to different cultures. So that played a factor into it, and I think it was just, and I think it was time. The moment was here. I didn't feel like the moment was too big. I felt like we were right in the pocket, and so we pulled the trigger.
And we're in love with the whole concept. You know, when you meet that special someone, and you on the phone all night, you talking, you wake up, the first thing you do is think about that person. That's how we were with this business. We fell in love with it, and the moment I'll be waiting by my phone, waiting for him to call me. I used to catch an attitude. Remember when he didn't call me?
Why you didn't call?
But bro, we need to be talking about this business. I want to talk about this business all day long. I'm putting my phone on mute at work. Just if Rainey called me, man, I pick up the phone. What's up, bro? What's the word? Man, let me tell you. And that's how the conversation, I could tell if it was a good conversation
or bad conversation.
Or bad conversation. Man, you ain't gonna believe this. And you know, that's the words I don't even want to hear. And so we fell in love. We courted this idea.
Also get past the romantic side. Also get past that too. Because you'll be talking on the phone for days and talking on the phone for hours, and then the person you've been talking to reveal themselves, and you're like, "Hey, I didn't know that was on the phone all this time. You never showed me that side." And that's what we experienced with this business. It showed us the ugly side too. Yeah. But if you're passionate, like you said, if you had a passion,
if you know it's the one,
it's easier to get past. Yeah. If you know it's the one, it's a lot easier to deal with their BS than it would be if you felt like this ain't the one.
And it's easy too. My wife even says that I'm lucky. She said, you have somebody that you can go through the struggle with.
Right.
You know, so we bounced ideas off each other. We just picked each other up. You should see my guns right now. That's from picking this dude up all the time, Jen.
Now, what kind of research was y'all doing when y'all thought about this? Was y'all Googling or just, what was y'all doing? Going to other people or?
Well, Chin, I mean, you've been a great deal. I mean, with the connections
you helped a lot with that. You helped a lot with that. And the research we did was just looking at some of the schools here and looking at some of the we really like what Mario Chicochi is doing as far as education. We really like that aspect. And so we researched that, and we researched different schools, especially schools in this area. We do have schools in this area. So we researched those schools too, what their website looked like, what their tuition was, what their graduation weight, what their graduation rate is. And man, how many Black students they got? How many brown students do they have? So it's good to do that kind of research for yourself, because you know what you want to do. You know how you want to identify yourself, but you also want to know what your competition is doing. You also want to know how your competition is identifying themselves. So
and how you can be competitive too, because you need to be able to. Everybody, like 1,100 schools, that's a lot to me. That's a lot to me. That's a lot. I mean, even as so many people, you still got to sell the idea of being a barber. And we spent a great deal of money on equipment and everything, because we feel like a lot of these barber shops are barber mills, and they want to get rich, but we want to help people be financially stable. So that's our main goal. And so we want them to be able to have fun, have the best equipment, have the best. I believe this dude's going to be instructor of the year.
that's because I'm the best instructor.
You have an instructor. He has an instructor.
When I was in school, I did. When I was in school, I did.
Half a student.
I was cold though.
I heard that though. I did hear that. But
How was Rainey, you've been a barber for what, 35 years, 34 years?
I think it's 30 years.
30 years.
No, like 32 years now. 32.
Okay, 32 years. So when you were barbering in the shop and thinking about the school, how is that? You know, you working in this shop in 32 years, that's a long time. Because I mean, we go through a lot dealing with clients, body hurt, missing out on life with kids, wife, whatever. So what was going through your mind?
Well, the ouch, like I'm a barber. It feels like I'm on a Ferris wheel. Like I keep going around and around and around, and I'm not really making any progress. So what changed for me is the two things. One, I know I needed it out. I needed an end game to what I was doing. Like I don't want to be cutting hair at 70 years old. Not because I have to. I probably will be cutting hair at 70 years old, but I'll be doing it because I like to do it, not because I have to do it. And so that frame of mind was on me. And then also looking at our industry in Chicago. I can speak for Chicago because I've been in this industry for 30 years in Chicago. Looking at our industry needs a lot of help. Our industry is suffering because of lack of education. Our industry is suffering because people go to school, they spend all their time in school, they graduate, and then they don't go get their license. And there's a reason for that. A large reason for that is some of these kids or some of these adult learners, they can't read. They can read well enough to get through school, but they're not really educated enough to take a test, a state board test. But they've been playing the system their whole life. So they can't play the system, but they can't play their state board test. So a lot of them don't even go out to take the test. That's one set. Then there's another set that started going to school because maybe they friend with the school or they heard the school was cool and they got into school and found out it's more than what I wanted. It's more than I can handle. And they get out of the school because all the school have to offer is teaching them how to cut hair. Well, they already know how to cut hair. Well, I can get a license. There's a lot of shops you can work in Chicago that they won't require you to have a license. And that's not just in Chicago. That's not a problem unique to Chicago. That's a problem in every state and every city that has barbershops. And so I think that hurts us more than it helps us. And so I want to help. I want to help young brothers and young sisters who were in the situation I was in when I was growing up, who didn't have an out. Well, I had an out. Barbering was my out. But there's a lot of brothers and sisters who don't have an out. And so they feel like they're stuck in this community. They feel like they're stuck in a situation. I know because I felt like that. And I want to help them. I don't want to climb the wall and then jump down and then run down the field and forget about the wall. I want to climb the wall, create the rope, and throw it back over. So your climb will be a lot easier than mine was. That's ultimately what I want. And that's ultimately what we're going to do.
Okay. Well, I don't want to keep y'all all night. I don't think we have any other questions. What do y'all want to leave them with?
Just the your will and your determination. That's who you are. That's what makes you who you are. If you look in the mirror and you're not comfortable with your situation, understand that you can change your situation. And it's just not for barbers. It's not just for beauticians. This is for people in general, period. If you're not happy with your situation, you are more than capable. You have all the ability, everything you need to change your situation. Do not settle for less. We do that a lot. And we do it for no other reason but comfortability. So do not settle. Feel uncomfortable. It's good to be uncomfortable. Make yourself uncomfortable in your situation so you will be motivated to get out of your situation. So if I had to leave, with one word of encouragement is, man, do not give up on your dream. It sounds corny, I know it does, but do not give up on your dream because you're giving up on yourself. When you give up on your dream, you're giving up on yourself. And you have the capability to change your life. You have the capability to change other people's lives. Be okay with that. Understand that.
And have a purpose in your business, whatever your business is going to be. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's business or cosmetology and barbering, but just have a purpose. Know what that purpose is. You know, if you don't have a purpose, man, it's hard to get through each day without a purpose. So make sure that's a purpose. And I did see somebody asking if we're going to have instructional classes. Yes,
yeah, we do. Pivot point instructional classes.
All right. What's your theme song, Don? That's how we're gonna end it.